We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. At a recent City Commission meeting, members criticized the contentious proposal to overhaul event permitting.
Jonathan Gomez Noriega was dismissed from his Jersey City aide position after supporting his sister's incredibly anti-LGBTQ+ campaign.
Trump's live interview with Adin Ross at Mar-a-Lago is full of controversial remarks, provocative gifts, and a not-so-good dance to YMCA. Wait, what? What? Really?
Recent trials show if you take Lenacapavir injections twice a year, it offers 100% HIV protection in women and girls, outperforming daily PrEP pills. Lesbian and queer women and women all over the world can celebrate.
Fox News' Jesse Waters claimed men supporting female candidates have mommy issues, sparking backlash from co-hosts and viewers. He says it's a transition to becoming a woman.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, that we have had more than 9 million views because of you. It is Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in the LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
That's right, Greg. Thank you so much. Let's meet tonight's anchors here at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome actor. Well, he's also an actor sometimes. He really could be. Anchor Dr. Bobby Huen. He's a certified civil and family mediator and a founder of BH Conflict Resolution Services. From Hong Kong and having grown up across the world, he can offer a queer global perspective on current events. Welcome back, Bobby. So who would play you in a movie about your life?
Bowen Yang, probably.
Oh, no.
Hey, that was easy. Like,
structure.
but he's thought about it, right? Like anybody else would have been like, Faye, how are you going to ask me something like that? But Bobby's like, oh, no.
I mean, there's not many round-faced Asians out there. I mean, really.
Okay, well, no, that's a good choice. I like that. Are you good?
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
You look lovely tonight.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
She looks lovely, y'all.
He's so sweet. Next up, let's welcome Alex Morash. Alex has written for The Advocate and served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine. He has also served as media director of the National LGBTQ Task Force and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Welcome back, Alex, and I got a fun fact.
Oh,
for you.
okay.
You are the first person I have ever friend requested on Facebook.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I will go on Facebook for the first time in months to say yes.
Okay, there. I just literally said my age, right? I talked to like a youngin' the other day, and I was like, yeah, find me on Facebook. They're like, oh, we don't use that.
Oh, no.
Welcome back. Good to see you, Alex.
Good to see you, too.
Next up, welcome anchor Cindy Brown. Cindy was an early organizer of the Miami AIDS Walk and the White Party for Care resource. She is the programs director for the Lambda Living program at Jewish Community Services, and she also served as the founding executive director of Miami Beach Pride. Cindy, the ancient Spanish Monastery Foundation's 4th annual Artists in the Cloisters is on September 5th. Did I say that right? Tell me what's happening.
Well, In North Miami Beach, there's this wonderful ancient Spanish monastery. It's actually an Episcopal church, but it is one of the oldest buildings, or probably maybe even the oldest building in South Florida, but one of the oldest buildings in Florida. And they have, every year, they have artists in the cloisters where they invite artists and musicians in. And in Miami-Dade County, there's this awesome thing, excuse me, called the Golden Ticket. So for Miami-Dade residents who are 62 and older, there are all kinds of things that they can do for free.
Nice.
Anywhere from going to the Artist in the Cloisters event, going to the PAM Museum, the zoo, countless things, Fairchild, all these different things. So I try and find opportunities where I can bring groups of seniors. And what we do, so we come together as a group, so we're like-minded. We're a group of, LGBT seniors who are attending this cool event together. And it's, there are a certain number of golden tickets they give, so we're going as a group. So it's very exciting.
I love that.
Yeah.
But will there only be seniors there, or there'll be
all sorts of people will be there. But because of this golden ticket program with the county, there are a certain number of tickets to the event, which, by the way, are $30.
Nice.
There are a certain number of tickets to the event that they make available for these golden tickets.
I love that. And where can somebody apply for that golden ticket?
Well, you can go, if you Google Golden Ticket Miami-Dade County, it'll take you to a page, and the book, if you had the book, it's like, this thick, and there are literal golden tickets that you can tear out of the book.
Oh, cool.
But you can go online, everything's digital.
I love
that. You can find out all the opportunities. If you do live in Miami-Dade and you're 62 or older, you can even go see theater performances. Some of the theaters only offer maybe 2 or 4 tickets per performance. But, if you want, you can keep busy every weekend.
I wish they did it in Broward.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, you're almost 62, so get that information. Next up, let's welcome Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 2 short story collections and 7 books of poetry. He's an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of print and online publications. Welcome back, Gregg.
Well, if you want to know my age, you'll have to cut off a finger and count the rings. I'm not telling. And of course, this is tonight's glamorous lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of the FayWhat show on Mondays at Hotspots Happening Out. Fay, FLIF, aka Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival, will present the world theatrical premiere of Seance with the Queens at Savor Cinema on August 18th. The screening will also include a panel discussion followed by a reception in the courtyard. You, of course, are moderating the panel. Tell me what it's about.
It's going to be awesome. August 18th at FLIF, Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival, will present the world theatrical premiere of Seance with the Queens at Savor Cinema, 503 Southeast 6th Street, Fort Lauderdale, beginning at 6 p.m. Seance with the Queens presents the true story of Sarah Spiritual, a West Palm Beach psychic who joins forces with the Scream Queens from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise and drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race and Hocus Pocus 2 on a quest to heal a community threatened by hate. Drag performers Prince Trilla and Katya Tension will attend the screening along with exclusive producers Adam Barta, Jojo Payne, and Greg Malif, who also appear in the film. Following the film, there will be a panel discussion about the ongoing battle for LGBTQ plus equality in the state of Florida. Included on the panel are Adam Barta, Sarah Spiritual, Todd Delmay, ED of SAVE, and Robert Keston, ED of the Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library. And I will be your moderator. So I see you all at Seance with the Queens, Sunday, August 18th at Savor Cinema. Tickets are $12 for adults, $10 for seniors. For tickets and information, including a trailer, please visit flif.com/events, Seance with the Queens. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. We begin this evening as we queer up breaking news. Lips Fort Lauderdale saved with last-minute purchase. I couldn't be happier. Okay, let me stop shaking. With only days before its scheduled closure, the iconic Lips Fort Lauderdale dinner show was purchased yesterday evening. The new owners are Michael and Jonathan Barrett, owners of Aquaplex Key West. In a statement to Goodman Public Relations, the new owners said, quote, "This is an exciting venture for us as we spread our wings from Key West to South Florida. We love drag and we love it here, so it is the perfect venue for us to personalize and make our own. Our Key West experience and success have provided us with inspiration, and we're looking forward to visualizing it in Fort Lauderdale." I'm so excited about this, guys.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was so upset when the news broke, you know, not even a week ago, that unfortunately Lips was going to close, that they had come under hard times, that, you know, that they had 4 or 5 GMs over the last couple of years, and they were just going through trials and tribulations that they could no longer deal with, right? So we were told, we did the story here on Queer News Tonight, we cried, we gave love to all the girls, we were like, oh my God, where are they going to find their next job? What's going to happen, right? And then here we go, and someone at the rescue, right? Like, I had already gotten my ticket for Sunday brunch because I was ready to, you know, say goodbye to Lips, right? Well, take my name off the bathroom, you know, I had things I had to do. I had things I had to do, right? And then we get this, this news yesterday, and you know, I love when we spread good news.
The
right?
community comes
social
together.
Media. Everybody came together and started posting it everywhere. And so now these folks, if you've been to Key West, you've been to the Aqua Bar, you know, they own that as well as 2 other establishments down there in Key West. And now they want to come on over and take over Lips in Fort Lauderdale, and we couldn't be happier. At least I could not be happier. I can't stop shaking. So I have a quote from Velvet, but please come on next. What else do you guys think?
I've been to Aquaplex several times. I love the service. They always make a perfect martini, by the way. And the show, the drag shows are magnificent. It's really funny.
This is great. Well, my husband, you know, has a book coming out in October that is called Last Call South Florida, which is the sequel to his book Last Call Chicago, which is basically a coffee table book, reference book about gay bars from Palm Beach County to Key West. And the other day, tons of them. He goes way, way back in time. But the thing is, the other day I messaged him and I'm like, oh my God, the book is coming out in October. You've got the proof here. You've got to change it that Lips is closing. And then I texted him this morning and I'm like, call the publisher. Everything's okay.
Hold the press. Hold the press.
Hold the presses. That's all right. So,
Rick is going to kill you.
No, all's good. All's good.
Rick is going to kill you. Rick is Gregg's husband, okay? So, you know, Velvet Lenore has been at Lips since day one. Amanda Austin, all those girls, Boz Allen, anybody who's anybody, and anybody who's been incredible at drag has been on the stage of Lips, right? From Erica Norrell to Nicole T. Phillips. I mean, Daisy Dead Pedals, everybody has been on that stage. I think I dragged one day and was on that stage too. I mean, that's just how much, okay? And so I reached out to Velvet Lenore and just asked her how she was feeling about the new company coming in and picking up Lips. And she said, there is always a light at the end. It's not what you go through, it's how you come out of it. Stronger and more focused on bigger and better things while counting your blessings.
Brava.
Wow, well said.
Right? And I replied, bitch, you a preacher now? But I love you, and yes, right?
Yeah, awesome.
So we're so happy.
So now we all have to schedule brunch at the
A
new
group
place
brunch.
so they can continue to be supported by
A Queer News Tonight.
QNT screen. Yeah, for sure.
Brunch.
Right?
I think
Great.
we should.
That would be a good idea.
We're happy. We're happy. Congratulations, Lips. Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Wilton Manors may have more big events. Maybe. Wilton Manors has just 2 major events, hotspots happening out, Stonewall Pride and Wicked Manors. The recent City Commission meeting addressed various significant issues. Mayor Scott Newton warned the public that the meeting would be exceptionally long. It turned out to be more than 4 hours, so he did not lie. The session's most contentious discussion revolved around a proposal to overhaul the city's permitting process for large events where more than 1,001 people gather. The proposal was criticized for its internal inconsistencies, as it included a requirement for a 90-day gap between major events. there was little justification as to why this limit would be put in place. Some at the meeting suggested this is a solution to a problem that does not exist, as there have only been 2 1,000+ events for years, and it does not appear to be changing. This rule would potentially limit the scheduling of popular events like Stonewall in mid to late June and Wicked Manors on October 31st, leaving only a February slot available. Eventually, the flawed proposal was returned to city staff for revision. This provision has significant consequences to the LGBTQ+ community in the future, as a limitation of what major events can happen in the gayest place on planet Earth. You know, we've had last year in February, I was blessed to host Rock the Block.
Yeah, right.
With David Archuleta, right? And it was incredible. We had 3,000 people and it was a blast, right? We didn't close down, Harmony Waves, the people who put on the event, did not close down all of Wilton Drive. They only closed down about 3 or 4 blocks by what I remember, you know? And that event was in February. So if this goes through, all right, and let's just say Rock the Block applied again for a permit, we would just have 3 events all year and that's it. I mean, we have Disney sing-alongs that we love to do. We have, we have other events that we love to use the drive outside to have these incredible events. So this kind of like makes me sad that we would just be limited, and I don't see the reasoning why.
And I'm sure that doesn't make sense.
Why? You need 90 days?
Well, it doesn't make sense because these events bring money
the business owners.
to the businesses.
Yes.
And
Revenue.
And it brings people from outside of Wilton. And it brings straight people.
So it
I
doesn't
met
make
so
sense.
many straight people at Rock the Block.
There must be some ulterior motive, but
there's
because
a lot
from a
going on with-
logical perspective, it does not make sense.
Alex, what you think?
There's a lot that's been going on with the Wilton Commission. I will say, Jason and everyone at Out South Florida News has done a really great job the last couple months on reporting on all the issues the city has been going through. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And, well, Jason's the publisher.
Yeah.
But yes, John's also been a great, but like, not only that this particular meeting, they were talking about this issue. They couldn't figure out the 90 sounded weird.
4 hours?
Yeah. Well, so they also having issues with their police department, their funding.
Right.
And I thought, and the whole time I'm listening to all this, it's also been interesting to see that they have 2 city commissioners that are running unopposed this year. They have 3 people running for mayor at least, but I'm like, I feel like Wilton Manors needs to really start taking its governing a little bit more seriously than we've been seeing.
And also, there should be more events, not less.
Right. Again, the business owners, you think
3
they'd want
events
that.
is not enough.
No.
I mean, we have 4 months between each event. No way. No, you
That's
need
ridiculous.
You need one event every couple of months.
You go to
ideally.
Miami Beach and there's like 3 events a week.
Right.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Well,
It's
and it's
ridiculous.
summertime. If you talk to a lot of the business owners, it's been a tough summer, right? And
Yeah.
they really
People.
they really get incredible crowds from these events.
Yep.
You know, and that's not extra marketing that they have to do or anything extra overhead for them to be able to bring in that money. They need that money.
Right.
So, like the upcoming Pride Fest is sort of limited to the park there, but there is some spillover. It's bringing people to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So encourage that.
There must be a reason, like Cindy said. There must be a reason.
there has to be.
But again, kudos to them for revisiting it, right? Saying, okay, we need to relook at this. Maybe
The businesses
we're not
need to
seeing
come
something.
together and say, you're taking money out of our pocket if
There
you
is
do
a
this.
coalition of businesses together. What is it, like Save the Wilton Drive or something?
No, Wilton Manors Business Association or something.
Yeah, there's a
Development,
business deal.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully they'll.
So,
Well, we'll hear more on this for sure.
Continued.
I'm sure they'll keep doing more on that one. Next up, let's queer up the USA View. New Jersey City Aid fired after donations to anti-gay sisters campaign. Jonathan Gomez Niagara, who served as an aide to Jersey City Mayor Stephen Phillip and was a member of the city's LGBTQ+ task force, has been dismissed from his position after it emerged that he donated to his sister's campaign. His sister, Valentina Gomez, is a right-wing Republican candidate for Secretary of State in Missouri, known for her anti-gay rhetoric and derogatory social media posts. Gomez Niagara resigned from the Jersey City LGBTQ task force on Monday. However, Valentina has condemned Mayor Phillip in the video posted this week for forcing her brother to choose between his family and his job.
Today, the mayor of Jersey City, Stephen Phillip, who is trying to be the next governor of New Jersey, just threatened my brother with firing him, and I caught him on video. Phillip is making him choose between his family or his job. Stephen, You should have chosen your words more carefully with my brother, because you do not sound like a democratic mayor. You sound like a dictator. You cannot be governor. This is not the way to treat your employees or any human being. But I will let the people decide. Here's the reporting.
And John, if you think that is boldness, I am going to fire you. I'm going to look in 5 minutes. If it's not clear where you stand, then you're not with me. You're with her, and you can't work with me. Period. Okay? Like, that's it.
No,
End of story. 5 minutes.
The controversy began early on Monday when the Hudson Pride Center, a leading LGBTQ advocacy group in Jersey City, announced the mass resignation of its staff from the city's LGBTQ task force. The group's executive director, Elizabeth Sheld, issued a strong statement condemning Gomez for his silence and financial support of his sister's campaign, calling it unacceptable and contrary to the values of inclusivity and respect that we strive to uphold. The review of campaign contributions records show that Gomez made 4 donations to his sister's campaign, $150 in October of 2023, $100 in February, $500 in April, and $500 on July 12th, amounting to a total of $1,250. Valentina made national news last week, including here at Queer News Tonight, as she posted a video standing in front of a rainbow flag saying, "Gay churches are the root of evil and queer people are pedophiles." She issued a statement that if she had to go to jail for what she needed to do next, she accepts the consequences, and included a picture of her with a high-powered rifle. You know, this story, Valentina, she's a nut. That's not, to me, that's not the most fascinating part of this story. You know, looking at Jonathan and getting to know him and the mayor of the city. You know, this is a young man who, he's an Olympic swimmer. He seems to have been dedicated to this mayor for 6 years. And I'm always uncomfortable when an elected official wants a city staffer to be penalized for their personal political contributions. You know, to be honest, Project 2025 wants to fire federal employees for similar activity. Yeah. So I'm very concerned about that. But the mayor of Jersey City is trying to run for governor. My understanding is he's the front runner to be the next governor. And it reminds me of so many politicians I've seen where they're really putting their careers first. So to this young person and to any aspiring potential political staff or the former person who used to work with these people, yes, your sister's a nut, but yes, your family's going to be with you in 10 years. These politicians aren't going to stick with you.
Okay, you were part of the National Task Force, for years. So how would you feel about that being a part of this story?
If the National Task Force, if this person was working for the task force,
weren't they working for
It's a city task force.
Oh, okay, got it.
So and that's one of those committees. Most cities will have different committees, an economic development, an LGBTQ task force. So maybe the mayor should have been it's not good for you to serve on this committee. But at the same time, with the nonprofit group making a whole stink out of someone's personal political contributions to their crazy sister, I'm how many queer kids did you get off the streets? How many HIV cases?
If it wasn't his sister, it might be a different conversation.
Yeah, because it's family.
But this is his sister, and I also think it's inappropriate, he probably won't vote for her, but it's his sister. Yeah. And it's family, and I think it was inappropriate of
And no one's going to say about how
that.
dumb Jonathan is. No one's going to say that. I mean, come on, give her cash. It was only $12.50.
Right.
That's what I got out of it. I was like, if my brother should have given me Tony Limo, you better give me a couple thousand. You're giving me $12.50.
And small unmarked bills. The happy ending to the story is that Valentina lost her primary by a big margin.
Did she?
So she's going to be So as I like to say, bye, Valentina. Bye.
Yes.
Bye. She's kind of hot, but I want to see her I don't know. I kind of see her. I want to see her in a Carol commercial, right?
When she opens her mouth, any hotness she might have.
just fly out the window.
I stick my tongue in her mouth. Bobby, what's next?
All right. Next, let's queer up politics. Trump's interview with Adin Ross, which was meant to attract youth, is full of hate. In an effort to connect with young conservatives, former President Donald Trump appeared in a live-streamed interview with Adin Ross, a 23-year-old Jewish internet personality known for his provocative content. The interview took place at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort and broadcast on Ross's Kick live streaming app, where he currently has 1.3 million followers. Ross gifted Trump a Rolex watch and a custom Tesla Cybertruck featuring an image of Trump with a bleeding ear. It is a nod to his July 15th assassination attempt. However, these gifts might breach campaign finance regulations. During the 1.5-hour conversation, Trump made many hateful and controversial remarks. He criticized the U.S., describing it as drug-addicted and crime-infested. Trump also expressed approval of Twitter's owner Elon Musk, calling him a great guy, and criticized Vice President Kamala Harris, labeling her stupid and incompetent. He also mentioned that Harris failed her first bar exam, despite many lawyers having similar experiences. Trump discussed various topics, including Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's election, and also addressed his interview with ABC News' Rachel Scott, who questioned Trump about his past insults against Black Americans. He then went on to blame Harris and the Democrats for rising crime rates in the country. He controversially claimed that stating all men and women are created equal is apparently politically incorrect. The interview ended with Trump and Ross briefly dancing to YMCA by the Village People. While Trump often plays this song at his rallies, it has undeniably gay undertones, and oh my God. First of all, some trivia for you.
All right.
Adin Ross, the Jewish man who founded this case, has hosted actual neo-Nazis on his platform, on his show, on his podcast.
Holy crap.
The grift is strong with that boy.
Wow.
And secondly, why are we shuffling gifts into a self-proclaimed billionaire? Shouldn't he buy his own Cybertruck or buy his own Rolex?
A Cybertruck and a Rolex? Wait, does he even know how to drive or tell time?
I saw one of those trucks on
hideous.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Hideous.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere.
Hideous.
They look
What
like
is
dumpsters.
this?
They look like
Yeah,
dumpsters.
they look like dumpsters.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they should be called, because
Yes.
they're trash.
Yeah.
All right.
Cybertrucks are the bad Tesla owners, for the record.
We're not going to have that conversation, you and me.
Oh, God.
Alex. It was interesting. I sat through some of this, right? And it was hard to, because that guy, Adin, makes my stomach kind of twirl, right? I really, we live in South Florida. Miami is very full of Venezuelans and Cubans, okay? Many people who were not born here, but moved here and became citizens, right? These people love and worship Trump. This is why Miami became so red, right? Basically, okay? Here we are. Here is this man that you love and lust for, basically telling you that all Venezuelans who are here are criminals, and that you are all not worth anything. Now, none of these Venezuelans give a flying shit. They will still go vote for him because the cognitive dissonance is real.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He literally sat there and said, yes, Maduro did great because he threw all the convicts and criminals out of Venezuela, and it's very safe now. You can go to Caracas and hang out.
Yeah, but they're here,
good.
right?
But they're here.
For a former president of the United States, and for someone who's running for president in the United States, he certainly has a lot of trash to talk about his own country.
Exactly.
He hates
the continuous stream of consciousness of just disparaging the country over and over and over.
Wait, and drug addicts? Is he talking about Donald Jr.?
Eric.
Right.
I think it's Eric.
Eric.
It's classic Trump, but you were talking earlier about the gifts. Trump during his presidency was famous for taking a lot of gifts, normally through the back door of spend money at my hotel.
Yeah.
And foreign governments would do
And
that.
also,
This kid's just doing what's
Jared Kushner's $2 billion investment from the Saudi Crown Prince.
Yeah.
And fun fact for Venezuelans in Florida, when I was at the Florida Dems, I worked with a Venezuelan, born in Venezuela, moved to America, named Luisana Perez, and she's now a comms director at the White House for Joe Biden. So when you're looking at who actually has been more interested in the Venezuelan needs, it's probably the current administration.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, now let's queer up health. Twice a year, Lenacapavir is an effective new HIV prevention solution for women. A groundbreaking study published in the New England Journal of Medicine reveals that Lenacapavir, administered twice a year, offers 100% protection against HIV infections in women and girls. The phase 3 trial conducted in Africa involved over 5,000 HIV-negative women and girls, all of whom remain free from the virus. This study presents a significant advancement over daily pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, like Truvada. The Purpose 1 trial, a double-blind study, compared Lenacapavir injections every 26 weeks with daily HIV medications. No infections occurred in the Lenacapavir group, while 55 total infections were recorded in the other groups. In a new release, drug maker Gilead announced that it anticipates results from the Purpose 2 trial later this year and in early 2025. This trial is pivotal in evaluating the efficacy of twice-yearly Lenacapavir for preventing HIV infections among men, transgender women, and gender non-binary people who have sex with partners assigned male at birth. The study is being conducted in Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, Peru, South Africa, Thailand, and the United States. For women, lesbians, and queer women, these findings are transformative. Consistent and long-term protection against HIV means reduced anxiety over daily medication adherence and an increase in control over their sexual health. This is particularly vital for communities where healthcare access and consistent medication use can be problematic. I mean, this really is a game changer for women because not having to be at the, I mean, most of the women contracting HIV are black women.
Yes.
And
Number one.
number
in the
one
country
and
in Miami.
Yeah, and they are generally at the mercy of their partner.
Yeah.
And this breakthrough really does give these women independence.
Yeah.
That they can make sure that they can take care of their own health by taking this twice annual medication and not have to worry if their partner's going out and messing around and bringing something back to them.
Yeah.
I think it is amazing. And I hope that, you know, it proves to work with men
Yes.
as well, because it's totally a game changer.
Twice a year, Lenacapavir. Sounds like a good ad campaign, doesn't it? Rhymes and everything.
Right? But, you know, I mean, I'm sorry, did you have more?
No, I'm available if they want to hire me.
Listen, this is great news, okay? It shows us that there might be hope for eradicating HIV/AIDS in our lifetime,
Exactly.
right? Wouldn't that be incredible?
Right.
You know,
Right.
my wife is a nurse practitioner at Pride Lines, and you know, she finds it difficult. She says that it's difficult to get our community to come and get, you know, to come a couple times a week or a couple times a month, right? It's just very hard. We have busy schedules. Things happen. Blah blah blah. You know, it's not always the easiest access to get also healthcare when it comes to LGBTQ plus, right? The center that offers the services to you might be far away, whatever it is. So this is a total game changer. I mean,
Totally.
2 times a year is completely incredible, incredible, and it's just also more hope, right? People are still working towards this you know, this to be eradicated, you know, and I really hope it does.
You know, I hope so too, because this really, Queer News Tonight, we've covered this more than once because it is an important drug, especially the fact that it will be helping women. But I'll always mention the issue of like, well, you know, one of the other things with PrEP and Gilead products is they do price them very high. And, you know, what are they going to charge for twice a year? Are they going to, that doesn't sound that expensive. Are they going to price it moderately? How, that's, you know,
I had twice a year infusions and they are not cheap.
Exactly. And like we as a community really need to like push Gilead and our government who does help fund, like the NIH did help give grants to some of the research on this drug. And like, are we, the taxpayer, going to make sure that we and the world benefits from this, or does Gilead's shareholders be the only ones that gain?
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, right now, there's so many free PrEP programs out there. I mean, part of it is Gilead, part of it is government-driven, part of it, I know that, like, private charities have been doing this, but we cannot just rely on charity. The drug company has to take proactive action to make sure that these life-saving drugs can be delivered at a reasonable cost, hopefully insurance covered to
That's the key.
the public.
Next, let's queer up the USA View. LGBTQ nominates Jesse Waters as the next Tucker Carlson. Fox News host Jesse Waters recently sparked controversy with a bizarre claim. During this week's episode of The Five, Waters mocked a record-breaking fundraising call for Kamala Harris by suggesting that men who support female candidates are driven by mommy issues or a desire to gain approval from women.
Now, I don't see why any man would vote Democrat. It's not the party of virtue, security. It's not the party of strength. It's definitely not the party of family. And to be a man and then vote for a woman just because she's a woman is either childish, that person has mommy issues, or they're just trying to be accepted by other women. And I heard the scientists say the other day that when a man votes for a woman, he actually transitions into a woman.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's what the science says.
Science says that.
Janine Pirro, who was a former judge, added, quote, "I want to say one thing. The men who voted for me didn't turn into women, okay?" End quote. The controversy came on the heels of a successful White Dudes for Harris fundraising event, which attracted over 180,000 men and raised more than $4 million for Harris's presidential campaign. Organizer of the fundraiser, Ross Morales-Roquetto, addressed the successful event saying, quote, "While Trump won over 60% of white men in 2016 and 2020, that trend will change tonight. We know that many white men who supported Trump aren't true MAGA supporters. They are people like you who are seeking a better life for their families," end quote. The entire exchange from Waters seems to be the GOP and Fox News attempt to attack candidates and the entire Democratic Party with anti-trans messaging. Listen up, Jesse Bedwetter Waters. You're a philandering adulterer who would be wise to confront his own mommy issues and desire for approval from women. I only hope that all three of your poor daughters deplore you less than I do, because I abhor you considerably, almost as much as JD Vance loves his couch.
Tell us how you really feel.
That's
Greg.
how I really feel.
You know, Fox News isn't really news. They've said that they're an entertainment show, so anything he says is garbage. But this is just another crazy nutcase with crazy things coming out.
I mean, even by Fox News standards, this is outlandish.
It is.
It is more outlandish than usual.
Crazy.
I don't think it's more outlandish than usual.
As someone who was a researcher for something called Media Matters, which was the top fact checker on Fox News, this is very common for what is actually said on Fox News all the time.
Right? Thank you.
It's a little surprising that someone actually countered it for once. Normally,
Two of
Fox 5,
them did, yeah.
But Fox, they'll normally just all agree with each other and just keep going down the deep end of crazy. So, like, you know, Jesse, I think it's fair to say he could be the next Tucker Carlson. It sounds like he's doing a great job in that, heading in that direction.
I just want to add that since we mentioned the White Dudes for Harris campaign, guess what? Elon Musk tried to shut down the account for White Dudes for Harris during the fundraiser. It ended.
They had already raised a shit ton of money, so screw him, you know?
Yeah, and that had to have been
Election
illegal.
interference.
I mean,
completely.
I mean, he's running this scheme with his new super PAC too, to like try to like feed information to Trump campaigns so that they can harass people who are like swing voters.
Oh my God.
I hate Elon Musk. Folks, a unique LGBTQ plus trip with Washington, D.C. to Bermuda cruise just announced. The Hotspots Happening Out nonprofit tribal club is excited to announce the MSC Meraviglia DC to Bermuda Cruise Tour, a 10-day adventure supporting their nonprofit initiatives. This trip begins on October 10th, 2025, with a 2-night stay in Washington, D.C., followed by a 7-night cruise to Bermuda aboard the luxurious MSC Meraviglia. Starting at just $599, this incredible value includes sightseeing, transfers, and unique experiences. In Washington, D.C., guests will enjoy comprehensive sightseeing of the gayest city in America. Next fall, foliage sightseeing as you travel to New York and board the ultra-deluxe MSC Meraviglia. On board, you can indulge in world-class dining, entertainment, and amenities. The ship will dock at the Royal Naval Dockyard in Bermuda for 3 days, offering access to the Capitol, Hamilton, historic St. George, and more. The journey concludes on October 19th, 2025, with transfers to JFK or LaGuardia Airport. You can secure your spot on this incredible adventure with a $199 deposit and an interest-free $99 monthly payment plan. Visit happeningout.travel for more details and make your reservations today. As a nonprofit LGBTQ+ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We would also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ+ community's most popular pizza in South Florida, and we love every bit of it.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church right here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finish tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up religion. Anti-LGBTQ Texas pastor charged in sex trafficking sting. Because of course that's what we're going to have to talk about tonight. What is the logical conclusion when you are a church pastor that preaches that queer people will go to hell because of the teachings in the Bible? Well, A Texas pastor who once preached that God is a new Sodom and Gomorrah has been arrested and charged with felony sexual solicitation. Plano police arrested Taryn James, the 51-year-old senior pastor at North Dallas Community Bible Fellowship, as part of an ongoing human trafficking investigation. According to the affidavit, James contacted an undercover officer posing as a sex worker and offered to pay $150 for, quote-unquote, full service, which is a slang term for intercourse. He later arrived at the local motel for the rendezvous, but left when no one answered the door. He was subsequently arrested during the traffic stop. You know, some people say we never talk about positive news on Queer News Tonight, and I just want to say that is so untrue. The only thing I'll say to this that's a little weird is, like, entrapment's never a good thing, but if it's going to happen to somebody, why not him?
I also don't believe criminalization of sex work, but once again, not a drag queen.
Yeah, not a drag queen. Listen, not a good year for churches in Texas, baby.
Right.
Not a good year, all right? Robert Morris, pastor at Gateway Church in South Lake, right? He turned himself in after being accused of sexually assaulting a girl. Right? Then in Arlington, Ronnie Goins, pastor at Quinoy Church, also turned himself in because he got he had charges of indecent assault and sexual assault, right? Lead pastor of Cross Timber left because of inappropriate interactions with church members. And they call us groomers.
Right.
You know, the interesting thing, back in the 90s in Miami-Dade County when we were trying to get the human rights ordinance passed the first time, and it was shot down on first reading, which was kind of unheard of. One of the leaders of that push to have it shut down was caught in a Miami Beach hotel with a mentally disabled 16-year-old parish member. That was my first letter to the editor, that all these commissioners kowtowed to what he was preaching, and now he's the one who's a pedophile with a mentally handicapped person. Wow. So,
and what's that old show, Tom? There's nothing like a dame's? Never mind.
okay.
All right, LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up politics. Mark Robinson's abortion ad show his hypocrisy. Mark Robinson, a Republican gubernatorial candidate in North Carolina, has released a new campaign advertisement in which he and his wife review their past decision to have an abortion. In the ad, Robinson says, quote, 30 years ago, my wife and I made a very difficult decision. We had an abortion, end quote. Despite this personal history, Robinson recently pledged at a campaign rally to ban the procedure entirely in the states, stating, quote, we've got it down to 12 weeks. The next goal is to get it down to 6, and then just keep moving from there, end quote. This marks a significant shift in his public stance on the issue. Fortunately for you and your wife, you were not governor of North Carolina in 1994.
30 years ago, my wife and I made a very difficult decision. We had an abortion. It was like this silent pain between us that we never spoke of.
It's something that stays with you forever.
That's why I stand by our current law, and it provides common sense exceptions for life of the mother, incest, and rape, which gives help to mothers and stops cruel late-term abortions. When I'm governor, mothers in need will be supported.
First of all, I just want everyone to know that if you see that ad and buy it, you have been lied to. Mark Robinson has been very early on in the campaign. Mark Robinson said that he will ban all abortions without exception to the health and safety of the mother. And then once again, like all Republicans, abortions for me, but not for thee.
Exactly.
Of course.
I got mine. Too bad.
Listen,
Right?
I feel for his wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just, even in that ad, she looks so, like, defeated, right? So, I mean, I guess I don't know the story, right? But the reality is that if her husband was governor when they were going through that tough time, she wouldn't have been able to have that abortion, right? And you know that that decision is hers. At the end of the day, I get, we got an abortion. Bitch, you weren't in there getting snip. Nothing happened to you. Right. You know, nothing happened to you. Right. You're a vile and disgusting person.
It's too bad that 50 years ago his mother didn't abort him.
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Oprah and Gayle are not gay and not in a relationship. Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King addressed long-standing rumors about their relationship, clarifying they're not secretly lovers. In a recent interview with Melinda Gates on Moments That Make Us, they laughed about the public speculation. King joked about the impact of this rumor on her dating life, saying it's hard enough for me to get a date on Saturday night with people thinking we're gay, end quote. She also said, quote, if we were gay, we would tell you, end quote. Both women have been in long-term relationship with men. However, their close friendship sparked rumors in the late 90s and early 2000s, and the speculation simply never ended. You know, everybody knows they broke up. Like, everybody knows they broke up about 10 years ago, right? I mean, their friendship is something beautiful, right? Yes. And at this point, I think we just understood. Nobody even talks about Stedman as, like, her partner. We just automatically ask for Gayle, right? I mean...
And aren't lesbians famous for staying friends with their exes?
Ever.
Oh.
Yeah. Ever. I can't get a bitch out of my house.
I mean, there goes Kathy Griffin's entire catalog of jokes. Sorry. I mean, sorry, Kathy. Well, the entire repertoire is just gone.
Well, I mean, if you asked me, I was going to say, like, you know, if I was going to trust who to take more seriously, two women talk about their own lives or a stand-up comedian who just is ripping jokes, yeah, I'm going to stick with what Kathy says.
Okay, well, LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the USA view. Miss Michigan wins Miss USA 2024, but it's Miss Maryland who makes history. Alma Cooper, Miss Michigan USA, was crowned Miss USA this week and will compete in Miss Universe. Cooper, a military intelligence officer and Stanford alum, won over 49 other contestants, including Bailey Ann Kennedy, the first transgender woman to compete in Miss USA. Kennedy, who is a Miss Maryland USA, made history as the first Asian American and transgender woman to win her state title. In her Instagram post, she expressed hope for the LGBTQ plus youth, emphasizing the importance of representation and inclusion. Marilyn and Kennedy did the LGBTQ community proud. Yes, you did the community proud. And it's so wonderful that the pageants, who I have always thought were ridiculously misogynistic, given, you know, all the things. But they're moving towards inclusivity, and everybody was supporting this woman, and I just think it's fantastic. You know, although I will never watch a pageant.
I think that Bailey was beautiful, and Bailey was an incredible representation of us, and I was hoping, I was really rooting for her that she would win. But you know, the Miss USA pageant has been full of drama. Yeah. This is the third person with that crown. Okay, this year, the third, all right? The last lady, her last name was Voigt, I want to say, and she resigned. She stepped down and said, you know, it's lost cultural relevance, okay? The whole Miss USA pageant has lost cultural relevance, and she also said it was a toxic environment.
Yes, that's why the misogynist.
Yeah.
This isn't the one that Trump used to own, right? He owned one. I can't remember which one.
Wait, is it Miss America?
He owned America.
Oh, the other one. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that matter?
No.
I mean, for the misogyny, that's
par for the course.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat, and on behalf of these